Dirty Laundry Clean Confessions. Live, pre-recorded from the family laundry room with Smarg, Haas, and Not the Real Guest. Here, we are hanging it all out to dry. In the room, where famous people are loved, admired, and adored, however, not invited. With the exception of the great Willie Nelson, of course. We are keeping it real in the family laundry room with Not the Real Guest. Thank you for joining us today.
Hey, Smarg, how are you doing?
I am doing good, Haas. How are you?
I'm doing good. How's your laundry situation this week?
You know, I got a little behind last week.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little grouchy about it, but then I hung it all out to dry, resorted it,
Yep.
put it away.
Sometimes you got to start from scratch.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then this week has been so much better.
Good.
So I am happy to say I'm caught up this week.
Isn't it crazy how much better you feel when your laundry's all situated and your house is all in order?
Well, I don't know if you know this about me, but I love to do laundry. I really do.
I think I did know that about
Also, just a side note, it occurred to me that we've never officially introduced Otter.
Oh, yeah, we really haven't.
We haven't. We talk about, and Otter's there, like, at our beck and call. She gets information for us.
She's listening to every episode, every
checking in with guests
episode.
to make sure that the guests are happy. And so anyway, we'd like to introduce Otter. She is our media guest coordinator.
Yeah.
So she's the one that posted all the great things on Instagram, on our Instagram. And
on our Instagram wall.
So anyway, welcome. And our Instagram wall. I think I'm bringing back the wall.
Yeah.
Hey guys, hey.
Welcome, Otter.
Hi.
Yeah, we're glad to have you here.
I love being a part of this.
So how are you with your laundry this week?
You know, it's good. I'm a Sunday gal, so I like to get it all done on Sunday.
On the
Every once in a while it
weekend.
carries it over into Monday, but I'd like to start the week fresh with a fresh laundry.
That's a good way to do
That
it.
Fresh
is
closet
great.
of clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
So what's the worst stain that you hate? Do you have one? Just one in particular?
I mean,
Like I have.
people are going to say blood, but I think blood is easy to get out.
So
if you
do
have
I.
hydrogen peroxide, it comes right on out.
Does it?
Grease stains. Grease stains are the hardest to get out.
They are.
I have a whole technique, and I'll have to show you sometime. But it's a whole process with WD-40 and baking soda and dish soap, and you have to keep applying it until the grease
Oh
lifts.
my goodness!
But it works, but it's really tedious. And
We're going to have to get your notes on that.
Yeah.
my
Share
husband
it
just
with our
doesn't.
followers.
He doesn't quite get it. Like I love him dearly, but he'll be like cooking bacon in like his favorite shirt. And I'm like, don't do that. 'cause then I have to. It's gonna sit in the grease pile forever because I only do like a certain set of the grease stains.
Oh, so it's
From time to
different
time, because
grease.
it's so
Okay.
time consuming.
Okay,
Yeah.
it sounds like it, but I can't wait to hear.
Otter, we wanted to tell our followers too kind of how we met each other. We've all known each other for a really long time. I don't know if you want to give everyone a quick background into who you are and how you became involved in all of our lives and how you became involved in the podcast.
Well, so as you know, Haas and I go way back to elementary school. We met in first grade.
Back in the day.
Back in the day. And then when we went to middle school, we met one of Smarge's daughters and
They did.
basically became inseparable. I mean, I talk to a lot of people, and I know this sounds like so cliche, but there really is something about like our friendship. Like we've all just been friends forever.
There's
And-
something incredible about one of my daughter's friendships with who she met in middle school and up till now. Through adulthood. It's amazing.
And to this day, like I consider this group of people like my family more so than even some of my own family.
Inside note, if people know Smarge and have ever heard her refer to her fifth daughter, here it is. It's Otter.
Yeah.
Otter, the fifth daughter.
Otter. Oh, that's great. Oh, see, it was bound to happen.
was.
Otter, the first daughter. I love it. I love it. And that's been for a good 15 years, right?
Yeah.
Oh my
What,
gosh.
since 2004? So almost 20 years.
Oh, my.
We're getting old.
I know.
Oh, my.
We're
You're
aging
getting,
ourselves.
I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
I don't know what you guys are thinking, you listeners out there, but they're talking about being old. I'm in a room with two gorgeous early 30-year-olds.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, my God, we're getting old. Whew.
Feels that way.
Well,
You know what? Embrace it because you can't stop it.
well, and honestly, Smarge, you've had probably one of the most miraculous lives that I've even heard of.
Aw.
I mean, half the people I know don't even go through half the stuff that you do. So, yeah.
Show you.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you know what? I have a confession.
Oh, what's your
to make.
confession, Haas?
Oh, I can't wait to hear.
My confession really is that I've known you for this many years, and
Mhm.
I've known you've been a successful businesswoman for
you.
23 plus years.
Mhm.
But I don't know entirely how you even got started in this industry and in your career
Yeah,
and
and
starting
why
your
would you?
business. Yeah.
Like, you didn't walk into my house as a 7th grader and go, I need to know what you're doing here.
I need to interview you before I hang out with your daughter.
What do you do for a living, and how did you start
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Well, then, yeah, let's interview Smarg today as our Not the Real guest.
Yeah.
And Smarg, why don't you start out by giving us a brief little biography?
I will. And I do want to say thank you. And I do want to say I was a bit surprised when I got the text from Otter, from the guest coordinator, asking me to be the guest. So thank you.
I couldn't think of a better person.
And so, yeah, so I thought I'd start with maybe a few of the bullet points, maybe of a timeline.
Let's start. When were you born? Where were you born?
I don't know.
You don't have to say when.
The year.
don't
I
have to
mean,
give us the
everybody.
year.
If everybody's good at math, by the time we're done, we'll leave enough clues. They'll be able to figure out
Right.
how old I am. Right. And what year I was born. But I like to say I was born the year. Well, they refer to this year as the summer of love.
Oh,
And
Good year.
70s.
Actually,
69.
yeah. No.
Number 69.
No. Do you guys know? Like, if you think of summer of love and you think hippies and you think music festivals, what do you think?
Woodstock.
Woodstock was the summer of
Love.
love. And anybody wants to look it up, then they'll know what year I was born, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so I was born the year of the summer of love. And I do remember my childhood as almost being magical for a very long time. I feel very fortunate the way I remember and how I experienced my childhood. It was my mom and my dad. And 5.5 years later, it was my little sister. And then we had one set of grandparents, my grandpa and my grandma, which was my mother's mother and father.
Mm-hmm.
And
And that's because your dad was adopted, right?
my dad, he was never adopted. He was in foster homes,
Okay.
and he was actually in an orphanage for a while. He was dropped off there and was told he'll be picked up by one of his parents, and his dad did, eventually come and get him. So, but yeah, so that they lost touch, we'll say,
Yeah.
after a while, right?
But I think
Fair.
it speaks
then-
to how he became so self-made.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
self-made, yeah. And so it was just my mom's parents, my grandpa and grandma, who I was so fortunate to have in my life till almost my 50s.
Oh, wow.
Because my grandma was a pretty big cheerleader of mine, and we were pretty close. So I feel fortunate.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I got to have her that long in my life. And my grandfather as well. And, my mom taking care of both of them so they can stay. They retired in their, if I remember right, maybe late 40s, early 50s. And
Oh,
they were
wow.
fortunate to, they had this little piece of property about 10 miles out of Black Hawk, Central City area.
Oh, cool.
And after a while, they built on the property and they built a home. And they retired early. So my weekends were spent going up there. And then my parents soon bought property adjacent to them or right next to them. And so for a long time, that was every weekend.
Oh, that's so cool.
And we would go up. It had a little creek running through it. I
Yeah.
mean, it was on a dirt road. We got to, well, my grandfather and father got to experiment what it'd be like to be a rancher,
Cool.
which is hysterical. So maybe another time. It's just funny that I have that much knowledge in my background that a lot of people don't know.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Not a lot. My sister really excelled in that area. She became a great rider. She showed horses. She was breeding horses. She
Oh,
really
cool.
excelled in that area, I have to say.
Yeah.
Me, not so much. My dad and my mom gave me a 65 Mustang when I turned 16.
Mm-hmm.
And it was actually, they had refurbished it or whatever you do. It was originally bought by my grandmother.
Oh, wow.
And as soon as he gave me that Mustang, I was like, I like this type of horse.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
my kind of
Yeah.
one.
yeah, So anyway,
Rad.
so
And
I
that-
think I had a pretty good childhood.
And that Mustang's still sitting in
and
the
I
garage
still have
now.
it. I still have it.
Yeah.
So
Does it have a name?
amazingly, it's never had a name.
Oh.
Wait, really?
Really. So maybe we can work on that. It has never had a name.
You name all your cars.
I know.
Mustang
Amazing.
Smarg.
Yeah, I think,
Mustang Mary.
Yeah, I don't, and then there's that Mustang Sally
Well, that's
song,
what I think.
same thing, yeah.
Mustang
And
Sally.
so I don't know.
Mustang Smart.
Yeah.
So I think
We'll
I
have to think
had
of one.
a pretty good childhood. And then around, who knows when it fell apart, it's not my marriage, but my parents did get divorced. And that was around, I was 17 going on 18, so my senior year of high school.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's a tough age.
It's a tough age, but I just felt for my sister more.
Yeah.
She's 12, 13, and that's just a
Oof.
crappy age anyway.
Yeah.
That's why I'm trying to, and as we know, Smarg loves the teenagers. We need to rethink. I'm big on that. We need to rethink how we talk about the teenage years and how we support the people that are having teenagers in their life.
Oh, yeah.
Big thing for me. So I felt more for my sister during the divorce. The one thing I did hold on to is my parents really did have a lot to fight over. They were married for a long time. There was a business involved. There were properties involved. And the one thing I was always thankful for is no back and forth. So we're getting divorced.
Yeah.
And it was done within a year.
Wow.
Oh, that's so much easier for everyone.
Absolutely.
Fortunately, but
Absolutely. And with that then was, sadness, of course, because this tight-knit family, there was really the 6 of us for so long. However, in time, my mom found a great guy, Grandpa Bob, and he has a daughter, and so nice family there. And then my dad remarried, and I make a joke that my dad had to remarry this much younger woman so his daughter would have a friend.
I mean, it's a good point. And it ended up happening.
And then they had a baby, so I have a baby sister.
Yeah.
And so that, with all the sadness came some pretty cool gifts. And it wasn't that I realized it right away, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But, we got through that. And then my senior year, I also met as known as my first husband.
Oh.
Would this be Pa?
This would be Pa. You guys do know him as Pa. This would
Good
be
old
Pa. Yeah. And I'm happy to say he was my first husband. And I do consider him a very good friend to this day.
Good.
Yeah.
And
Which is so
we were together
admirable.
for 10 years. And we were together when we were very, very young. I mean, just out of high school. And we went through a lot together, supported each other a lot. And I think that's what helped our friendship keep going. But then we also had 2 little kiddos, which, are awesome. We're awesome, are awesome.
Yep.
And that kept us, level-headed. I'm not saying we didn't do our stupid ass things to each other going through divorce. I mean, oh my God.
Especially that young.
I admire people when you talk to them and they did not do one childish, stupid thing. I don't know. Maybe it's because we were so young or something. I don't know. Your feelings are hurt. But we really kept it to a minimum. And then we moved on.
What was something that you did bad
What's
to him?
the worst thing you did to Pa?
I feel like you guys have a pretty good relationship. I can't imagine you doing anything poor towards him, but
Okay.
then
so
again.
Well, and for the listeners who don't know, I've seen so many people get divorced. My parents have been divorced. I have never seen a divorce as smooth and as amicable as Pa and Smarg.
Couldn't agree more.
To this day, even when there's still big family events or even little birthdays, they're both together in the same room with their new spouses, and
it's actually one of the things I'm most proud of in my life.
yeah, and
it
I just
really
think
is.
it's amazing because you don't see that often, and it's so clear that the people who are benefiting from that for the most are your children.
Right.
They're seeing their parents
And
get
it's so hard to
along,
see your children in the future as adults. And it's hard in that moment to remember that at the end of the day, you want your children to be successful adults. And I don't mean successful in the business sense. I mean successful as a human being.
Right.
Yeah.
And you want them to be as comfortable as they can when they enter into adulthood. But it's so hard in the moment
Yeah.
when you're looking at a 2-year-old or a 4-year-old to remember that they are watching and
Yeah.
listening to everything.
Oh, and
it's going
absorb
to
it. Yeah.
impact how they become adults.
And they feel every little bit of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's good to teach
So-
them how,
And I've
how to
seen
treat people.
like some nasty divorces, and it's
Well,
like,
I
don't
did
you
say
see
he was
that
my
you're like,
first.
yeah, it's just like, don't you see what you're doing to your kid? Like your kid's the one who's reaping all of this the most. But
Right.
when I look at
And-
you and Pa, it's just like,
when
you guys did it right.
And it is hard because, you have your own heart that's broken. I mean, you
Yeah.
wouldn't have been together if you didn't love each other or have something for each other,
There's some passion
So it's hard, But we, and I do have to say another thing that really helped is Pa's family.
Oh, yeah.
To this
It's a
day.
great family.
To this
Yeah.
day. I mean,
It's true.
They didn't like
helps a
hate you.
lot.
They understood.
They-
They're still family.
there were moments, but moments very short.
Yeah.
And in the end, mutual respect for everyone. And the fact that
Yeah.
they gave me respect for just simply being the mother of
of their
two of their grandchildren
Mm-hmm.
it meant so much.
And they didn't have to do that. I mean, it's
They
just,
didn't.
It's
They didn't.
just
Everybody was
speaks
hurt.
to
Everybody
everyone's
has
character
their story.
involved, you know.
Well, sometimes it's just like full on war, like
Yeah.
this
Right,
family
right.
against that
Families.
family. But
Right, and then
like, we're all
families get involved.
family.
Everybody
Yeah.
gets involved in the bad
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
But we were fortunate. Everybody got involved
But yeah,
successfully.
on that note, what is the worst thing you did to Pa?
Oh, that's right. I never even answered that. Okay, I'll answer this. I just hope he finds humor in it too.
Oh, he will. I'm sure he
And-
will.
I hope I didn't do anything that much worse. But anyway, we did own a motorhome together. And I had this fantasy idea, which is just ridiculous now that I think back, but going, well, why can't we just keep the motorhome and we'll just have it every other weekend in the summer and I can take the kids, you can take, it's just crazy. No, you don't need to complicate shit, right? Crazy, I see now. But
We're gonna share the house. You can have it on the weekend.
He was like, no, I'm not going to do that. And that upset me. And at the time when all this went down, we had the motorhome in for, it was like a Winnebago. And back then they had the stickers that are long that go down the side and then go into a W.
Oh, uh-huh. Yep.
And
I know
these
exactly what
stickers
you're
are
talking
usually 3 or 4 shades of the same color. So if you have orange, you start with burnt orange and you end up with popsicle orange. I don't know. But anyway, we were redoing the stickers and a little bit of the painting. And when I felt he was just being impossible about the motorhome, I walked down from work because it was just happening like a couple of blocks from work.
about. Mm-hmm.
And I told them, have you already ordered the stickers? And they're like, nope, we haven't ordered the sticker. I'm like, can I see the book again? And they're like, yeah, okay. And so I picked it out and I left. They called me twice to confirm before they ordered it. And I had picked like a pink, like I can't even say Barbie pink. I can't even see Pepto-Bismol pink. It was a metallic pink like you've never seen.
No.
And then it lightly went into other pinks.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just like covering the bulk of the.
Well, it's going down the entire. It's the exterior of the car and it's
Yeah.
of the plate, and it's going down the entire front, back, side.
Wait, was this before the divorce? Were you guys still together?
We were in the middle of the divorce,
Okay.
and he wouldn't agree with
right.
me.
Okay, I'm with you.
He was being difficult about the motorhome.
So you're like, well, it's mine now. It's pink.
No, it wasn't that, and I don't even like pink. I'm like, if you're gonna have it, well, you're gonna have a hard time selling it. Was my stupid, not realizing like. It's still all the same money. It's still all the same shit. You know?
Right.
It's just
You're not even a fully divorced yet.
It's just nutty thinking. And I do look back at that kind of laughing, but going, that's some crazy thinking.
What was his reaction?
Yeah. Was he mad?
Yeah, he wasn't happy.
Oh, no.
He wasn't happy.
Oh,
But,
Pa.
yeah, he forgave me. We got through it.
Sorry,
We got through
Pa.
it. Yeah, sorry. We got through it. We got
Then
through it.
after Pa,
Honestly, I bet that's
So-
a cool looking look now. I bet
Yeah.
people would
Yeah,
probably
you
pay
never
good
know.
money for
you
that.
never know. He did eventually sell it, like, I think it was 2 years later, to some very nice lesbians in Boulder.
Oh, my God. Perfect.
I know. So,
loved it.
again, meant to be.
Yeah.
Meant to be.
There we go.
That's how I like
That's
to think
not
of
so
it.
bad. That's not so bad.
Right? I can think of it that way. And during this time, I have to back up a little bit. During this 10 years with Pa and these 2 great little ones, I also was able to get my bachelor's degree.
Mm-hmm.
Pa and I kind of started out in Arizona, and hot.
Yeah.
And Smarg has never been crazy over heat. I mean, I may be one of those that retires and lives in Iceland. I don't know.
Oh,
I think Iceland's actually the nice one. Isn't it Greenland the cold one?
Oh, you're right. Maybe
It
Greenland.
is. But they're both
Norway.
cold.
I've
they
heard
both cold?
Norway's
Yeah.
pretty
Okay.
cold. And
Sweden.
Just
Switzerland.
Alaska.
yeah,
Pretty cold.
you know.
Well, we're going to feel that desert heat here in the next few weeks. All of us are going on a
That's going to be another
little
story. How that's
vacation
gonna be
together.
fun.
Yeah, we'll touch on that later. Anyway, go ahead.
So what was I saying about?
DU
So I was accepted. So we were in Arizona. We were going to. The plan was to go to ASU, and then I got accepted to DU, University of Denver. So I'm like, let's go back. So we moved back, and I was able to get my bachelor's degree while I had the 2 little ones, which was great.
Wow. Yeah, that's impressive.
And then I actually have 10 credits going towards a mediation master that I don't know how long the credits are out there for. I don't know if they ever expire. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
Should I
I'm
look
not sure
into
how that works.
Yeah.
You should get
I should-
that. Why
well,
don't you
Yeah, get your
I think a master's
get
is
it.
like 23 or 24 credits sometimes. I
have
mean, it's
no
not a huge
idea.
amount. And if
Depends, I
I'm
guess.
10, I don't know. I should look into. Well, I'll
You
look
should
into
look
that.
into that.
So I was able to do that, and I majored in speech communications
Oh.
and minored in history and sociology.
That's so cool.
And it was a
Okay.
great place to go to school.
Yeah, I bet.
I did. I enjoyed it. I
That's
enjoyed
awesome.
it. So
And
then
How long was that program then? Just a year or two to finish your bachelor's? Or did you go to school the whole 4 years there?
I ended up going there. I think it ended up being about 3 years, but it took me 6 years by the time I transferred
Yeah.
back.
Well, and you're raising kids. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. I
That's-
can't even imagine school full time, raising kids,
Yeah.
starting a business.
I can't even do
And
that.
then
without
once I
kids.
graduated, I graduated also with a teaching certificate or to take the test for the teaching certificate. Sorry.
Okay.
I hadn't taken I'd taken one, but at that time there were 2 tests or something. And I'd taken one, but I hadn't taken the other. And I was like, I can't do this. I can't leave my 2 little ones. Like,
Yeah, that'd be tough.
so, I went
Especially
to my
since
dad.
they were so young.
And I said, hey, do you have a part-time job? Because I'd like to work part-time. And so I went, and he, started this business and kind of considered a family business, not, pretty small business when it first started.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave me a part-time job in the human resources. And I was very fortunate because then I could be with the little ones too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what am I going to say? Like, I can't come in today, Grandpa.
Yeah. Have the girls
Yeah.
call in.
Tried not to take advantage of it. Did probably way too much, way more than I am proud to say. I shouldn't have. But
It's totally
very fortunate.
understandable. Yeah.
Very fortunate to do that, and I did that for about 12 years.
And what was the business then?
It was it was in the can industry and the beverage can, like what you see beer cans, soda cans.
And didn't your dad invent this machine that
He invented something called inventing. I'm pretty sure he invented it, but as far as putting it to market, doing all that research
Patenting.
and everything, yes, he did this, and he took it and ran with it, and it's called an end liner. And a lot of people don't know this, but it takes, I still don't know how many plants it takes to make one can, but it takes at least 2. You have the cylinder of the can and then the end of the can, and that usually does not take place in the same plant.
Which is
Crazy.
crazy.
Isn't it? So
seems like
my-
such a process.
my dad's machine you would find in the end plant, and that's putting the end of the can, because we moved, to this 2-piece can from a 3-piece can, so putting the end on. And it applies the compound that adheres
Mm-hmm.
the end to the cylinder of the can. So
so cool.
but didn't really get into that part of it. Not a lot of technical part. I was human resources.
Into everyone's business.
Yeah.
And I was the best.
fun
Like I
part.
could only remember people by their number. And my
Yeah.
dad would be like, "What?" And I'd be like, "Oh, you mean 132?"
He's fired?
And
Okay.
he's like, "This is why you'd be good with this. You can't remember names right for nothing."
This is a number to
So I
everybody.
did that for 12 years. And then, unfortunately, my dad, during that time, I met my second husband. And
Husband number 2.
husband number 2, we'll call him the middle husband.
Oh.
Kind of like the middle child. Like, and to be very honest, this is one thing that's going to be like in my brain till the day I close my eyes for good. Like, why couldn't I get through? Like, why couldn't we ever see eye to eye? Like, I don't understand.
Sometimes
just-
opposites do not attract.
Yeah, well, it did really quick, and then it didn't really
And
quick,
then it doesn't.
But again, I got 2 great kiddos,
Mm-hmm.
and this is where I learned co-parenting if you don't do it right, can be very hurtful.
Yeah.
And it is one of my things that I look back on now going, man, and, I don't like the word regret. I don't like it when people say, so what do you regret? And in the words of the great Willie Nelson, when he's asked about regret, he says, regret, I don't do that.
Oh, I love that.
So I want to add, I don't do that. I just try to do better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want
can
to add
do.
to
You
doing
learn
better.
from it. Yeah, you can only learn from those experiences.
So, but it is one of those that I look back on going, God, why couldn't I have gotten that right? Why couldn't I have gotten that right? That marriage didn't last too long, and not a lot to brag about there, unfortunately.
How long was that marriage?
I think 18 months.
Okay.
Which I had to really put the metal to the pedal to get 2 kids out of that,
Well, so
Let's
how
get
old was
going.
the youngest when you separated?
Within the first year,
Yeah.
definitely. And but the first little kiddo we had together, she was a year old when we got married.
Okay, right.
Okay, so
That makes
we were together for a while, but she
Sure.
was a year old when we got married.
Got it.
And then
So she was in the wedding.
she was at the wedding. We have pictures of it. Yeah, it's very cute.
Aw.
It's very cute.
She the flower girl.
So she was not.
The flower baby.
She was the flower baby.
The flower
Yeah,
child.
she was the flower baby. So, and then, like I said, learned a lot, really learned the difference between great co-parenting and absolute shit co-parenting.
Yeah. You've seen both sides of it.
Right. So, and then at the end of my 12-year career part-time in human resources, my dad unexpectedly died. So then
Part of the DDC.
Yeah, DDC. We will get into the DDC on another great episode, but he passed unexpectedly, so the family business was sold. And then I was left with really not a lot to do and single. And so I met some people at a barbecue one Saturday and said, from England, and said, hey, what do you do in the industry? And they told me, and I asked if they had any success in America. They said no. I'm pretty sure this guy thought he'd never hear from me again. And I really just did it for something to do. I had a contact list. This guy seemed, and he was there with his wife, seemed very genuine. So I never had any luck in America with his products in the can industry. And I was like, I don't know, I can call some people.
Wait, do we know this guy?
You don't know.
Oh, okay.
You may be thinking about.
Well, I'm thinking about husband number 3. This is not.
Oh, no.
Husband number
Yeah,
3.
no.
Okay.
Husband number 3 came in real soon after that because I hired him because I knew that it takes a lot of travel for this in the beginning to set it up. Like you have to go to these plants and be before the plant managers if you want to put your product in there.
So at the former family company, he worked for that company.
He did work
with
for
your
that
dad.
company as well.
Okay.
And then he had left and gone on to another company.
Employee number 112.
Yeah.
Is how we
72,
referred to
yeah.
him. He was 72.
No, I can't really
Yeah.
remember. Yeah, oh, that's funny.
He
Maybe
was
he was
numbered.
162.
We'll have
There
to
was
pull
a
his
62.
file.
Like, yeah, I'll have to pull this file like way back in my brain. But anyway, yeah,
So
and
anyways,
then
this other
he
guy-
went on to work, and then through a couple of years, he was working overseas, and he came back to Illinois to work for a while.
Okay.
And knowing this and knowing what I wanted to do, I was like, hey, I think you should probably quit that cushy job you have and come work for me. And he asked what I had to offer, and I did tell him I had a fine minivan. Town and Country Chrysler. I mean, it was nice. It was nice.
Big
It was
selling point.
nice.
And
Sign me up.
so he did, and for 2-3 years, we really busted our butts. And 23 years later,
So are you
Here we
still
are. And then-
partners with this guy?
he's the, let's say it's a mother company, and now we're like
Like a subdivision
a
of
subdivision of it
Okay.
for North and South America, New Zealand, and Australia.
Sweet.
Yeah. And then their company takes care of the rest of the world with, and they're consumable items that go into these plants that make beverage cans. So yeah,
So kind of like
when-
a piggyback of like what your
right.
dad's company
Yeah,
was.
kind of.
Yeah.
Only in the other plant, where
Okay.
the cylinders are made, not where the ends are made.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah,
Full
close.
circle.
All connected, yeah.
Yeah, and then here we are.
Full cylinder.
And full cylinder, full wash, full cylinder. You
Full
got it.
cycle.
You
There we
got
go.
it. You got it. And husband number 3 is now husband number 3 for almost 20 years.
Hey, that's something.
Man, that's
So-
great. Yeah, when is your guys' anniversary? It's coming
September.
up, right?
Yeah,
Oh my
so,
gosh.
yeah,
Have
20
any
years.
special plans?
Not
September
yet.
23rd, right?
Not yet. 28th.
28th.
You had to think about it.
28. Yep. 28. So, yep. So, and with him came 2 kiddos from his previous marriage. So I have 2 stepchildren, a stepdaughter and a stepson. And now, I don't know, what do you call it? Stepson-in-law? Yeah. I think we should get rid of the whole step thing anyway.
Yeah.
Silly.
But, so, and they're doing great. And so with him came them. So we spent the last, 20 years co-parenting with great support and great family and
Well, and
making
I'll
a
say,
company.
I know
And
that
here we are now.
your daughters look at him as a very much so father figure.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Not like it's the stepdad. Like
Oh,
no,
no.
that's
Right. He's
That's
pretty
dad.
integrated.
That's-
He integrated pretty quickly into the family, and there were some ups and downs, but he walked the line. And also the dads were respectful, so they, all of them were respectful to each other for the most part.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they all get along really well.
so
I was gonna
that
say, I've
really
seen them
worked.
interact and like they
I
all
was
get along.
I was fortunate
Yeah.
there because they did.
Yeah.
I've never seen them really like,
Butt heads or
bad mouth
anything.
each other or
Yeah.
anything. And I will say that third husband, he's a stand-up guy. He's
pretty
there for
good guy.
everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of like him.
We enjoyed him.
I'm kind of enjoying him too.
He's a
Good.
pleasant
I'm
guy.
glad.
We've had our ups and downs, but
All
all in
relationships.
all, oh my gosh, yeah. All in all, I'm happy where I'm at.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
Learned a
There you
little
go.
bit, got
there
through
you go.
some
And then
dirty
now,
cycles.
and then going through the early adult years with the kiddos, and now grandparenthood finally arrived.
yeah.
Well, and Smarg, I want to say that you're the one who told me like relationships go through phases. Like sometimes they're really great, and then sometimes you hit some like really rough patches. And
Yep.
and it's not like, oh, today was great, tomorrow's a rough patch. It's like sometimes it's like months, months of like this is really great, and then all of a sudden like months of like
This
crap.
This is not
Yeah.
good.
But like you come out of it. It's truly
Right.
like a roller coaster.
Yeah. And I do like to also like say, you have to look at this person and know that they're going to change,
Right.
because
You have
everyone
to be
changes.
your partner.
And things happen in life that we have no control over that change us. And that's one thing that is guaranteed in life.
It's change.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's
so
hard.
you have to find some core beliefs, I believe, in someone you want to share things with that, like, that's not really going to change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's not easy to find, but I think that's what you need to look at.
Yeah, that has to be like the foundation of your relationship.
Right. And find
Because-
someone that can pivot with you during the changes and
The
during the tough
windows are going to
times.
change, and the paint is going to change, and you might.
Yeah, I had a friend, still have a friend, I just haven't talked to her for quite a while, but she always said you need the flour if you want a beautiful cake. Like the frosting and all that's fun, but forget it if you don't have the boring flour. And flour sucks all by itself.
I love that.
right?
Yeah.
When you taste it, there's nothing good about it, but you
But you
need it.
it.
It's the integral part of the cake.
And that's the part that you need. It might not be the great, wonderful, butterflies in your tummy part,
Yeah.
but you need the flour.
And it's what holds
Yeah.
it all together.
Yep.
Yeah.
Amen.
yeah.
Amen, sister.
Well, yeah, thanks for the little intro.
Well, I don't know if that
onto-
was little. I feel like I've been talking forever. but
No.
yeah.
Your
Anyway,
life is just
moving forward.
so
now,
interesting.
so then grandparenthood hit, and
Yeah.
like I said to Haas, what are we going to do? We talked about felting baby mobiles. We talked about doing stuff for the rooms. And then I said,
Mhm.
let's do a podcast.
Yeah. So this
Here we
podcast
For
is-
people that are in the lives when they came into this world, what people were doing. What were people doing when we came
Yeah.
into this world? And just something for them to listen to later on.
bit of an update for the whole fam,
And
whole gang.
somehow, and anybody we have on here is somehow related in one way or another.
Mm-hmm. Joined us on our journey one way or
Yeah.
another.
What an
point.
adventure.
one big family.
So that's a little bit about Smarg.
All right.
I love it. Yeah, and speaking of that too, I mean, you've talked about your daughters quite a bit. What are they up to these days? Any new
Oh, yeah.
updates?
Oh,
Well, so we
yeah.
know you got 2 grandbabies,
We got 2 grandbabies.
2 weddings.
And 2 weddings. The 2 that have the grandbabies are not the 2 that have had are having the weddings or have had the weddings. So I have one that's married now. I have, and my stepdaughter
Mm-hmm.
is married as well. So I guess 2 are married.
Mm-hmm.
And then one is engaged, getting married in the next couple months.
Yep.
And then the 2 from me have each a grandbaby.
Mm-hmm.
with their partners.
Yeah.
And my stepson has a wonderful, sweet girlfriend, and they're doing life together.
Let's talk about this daughter who is about to get married. I understand that she has a bachelorette party coming up in Arizona.
Oh, she does. She does.
Sure
And I
does.
just keep thinking of that scene on what is it?
Bridesmaids.
Bridesmaids. And is it Kristen?
Ready to party.
Ready to party in first class. I can't wait. I'm looking very
There's
forward
a
to it.
colonial woman on the wing. There's something they're not telling us.
That's right. I loved it.
That's the best.
I'm
So-
going
and
to
I'm
say that
looking
on the plane for
For
sure.
one,
Oh,
being
yeah.
the mother, I'm very excited because I was invited.
Mm-hmm.
And,
I made the cut.
yeah.
I mean,
so that's
what is a party without Smarg? Let's be
thank
real.
you.
Like,
Thank you.
she
So,
brings
but
the
there
fun.
has been a little twist thrown into it in that the two new mommies are kind of apprehensive about leaving their little ones for the first time because
I
this will be the
bet.
first time.
I
right?
know.
I
Well, which
bet.
they should, I guess.
So it hasn't been completely decided. I might hang back the first night.
Wait, what?
No,
But we
Smarg,
don't
you
know for
can't do
sure.
that.
Well, it depends on where
This
little
is
Al,
news to me.
where little Al,
And
but right, but we have a great friend that's staying with us, and Poppy G's here, so I'm thinking
Yeah.
it'll be okay. But
oh yeah,
there's
Poppy
a
G's
slight
great with
possibility,
babies.
but I would only miss
Oh,
that
yeah.
first night. That's all I would miss. But we'll see how it goes. But it's one thing I didn't think about when we were planning the bachelorette party was, these mommies are going to have a hard time leaving.
Oh, that was my first thought. I'm like,
Me
how-
too.
Like I could see how the one who's 7 months old, like maybe maybe you can step away, but like this other little baby, he's only 3 months old. That's hard.
Almost 4 months. Yeah.
And she'll have to be. She's still breastfeeding, I believe.
I
and-
learned today that you need to have an ounce of milk for every hour you're gone.
Oh
You're
my
gone.
God, little
What?
milk factory.
An ounce, for every hour you're gone. So far, she has 43 ounces.
Wow, she's been
That's
collecting.
pretty good,
Yeah.
So
actually.
she's got a couple days. Well, almost 2 days.
And that little munchkin can eat.
Yeah, he
Oh, yeah.
can. He's a big boy.
Yeah.
He's beautiful. And
He
then
is
we got
beautiful.
little Monk, who's just as hilarious and just so expressive. And
Oh, he's always.
but the
smiling.
opposite as far as being, he's a little skinnier.
Yeah.
And
Won't take a bottle.
does
Ever.
not like the bottle. But we're working through that.
Yeah. I think his papa can.
Yeah, working
Handle
through that.
it.
I think so too.
But
So we're enjoying that, but
Yeah.
lots going on.
yeah, I think the bachelorette party is going to be a blast, actually. We're actually all attending that. So
Yes.
that'll be a good old time. And we can enjoy some summer heat and
I'm
some
looking
fun
forward to that. There's a
activities.
pool, right? And
Oh,
then
Oh,
there's a
yeah.
gorgeous
and then
pool.
and then what else
Slide.
isn't there like a pickleball court or something?
There's-
What else?
Oh,
did
that'd
I
be cool if it was pickleball. But I don't
Golf.
think it's pickleball.
There's like a little putt-putt range. There's basketball.
There's
There's
a little chess set, like a
yeah,
big
giant chess.
life-size chess
Yeah.
set. I don't mean to say little. It's not very little.
No, it's huge.
My biggest concern, though, is because there's going to be like 3 bathrooms and 13 people.
Oh yeah,
I'm like, how's that going to work?
it's gonna be interesting, but we'll figure it out.
I think we can
Alright,
figure it out.
Smarg, I have a question for you. What is something most do not know about you, but would be surprised? So what's something people would be surprised to know
I
that they
think-
don't know?
I think lately when I've talked to people just talking, and then I mention this, they do kind of take a step back. And I think that it has to do with social media. That's why you're in my life. That's why you and Haas are here. Oh God. I've never been on social media really. Never Facebook, never
Never
Instagram.
posted anything on your Insta wall?
No Insta wall yet. But that's hey guys, come on. I think we should start the Insta wall.
Yes.
But literally.
Smarge comes to us
selfies.
and she goes, "What's an Instagram wall?" Me and Otter look at each other like, "What are you talking about?"
So what I think I want is a very cool wall for Dirty Laundry Clean Confessions that our guests and whoever can come and take
some
selfies in
Instagram
front of
photos.
them, then we could put it on
We're
the Instagram.
trendsetters. We'll start the
Yes,
Instagram.
yeah,
wall.
we'll
we'll make it a
wall.
thing.
Yeah.
I love it.
Instagram screen, Instagram. I'll come up with something.
I think that's a good thing that you have it on
But I
social media in your
real-
life because
well,
honestly, it's such a waste of time. And
good
And it's
and bad.
addicting. It
Yeah,
sucks you
but-
in.
But Otter can share a story if she wants about me. I mean, when you're not on social media and you only do and you get online and you only do your things that you're doing each day and you're
Yeah.
not learning new stuff, you don't learn.
Yeah.
And so when she had to first get me into I think it was our Gmail or
It was
something.
our Gmail, yeah.
And she had me on speakerphone, and she was like, okay, no, Smarg, from the very beginning, no, remember, no capitals, no spaces, just it all goes together. And
She sent a picture to me of how she was entering in the email. And as you know, emails are just one word,
Right.
Yeah.
Dirty laundry, clean confessions.
But
of Gmail.
again,
but
I
it was all
haven't
space,
set-
dirty space, laundry.
and capital letters. And again, I
Here's your
haven't
problem.
signed into an actual email because my email just automatically comes up for years on my,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I've never actually had to go sign up for a new one like in the last 12 years. And that's what I mean. I mean, once you said it and I heard your partner laughing in the background, I was like, oh, that's hilarious in a way that I see, like, if you're not doing it,
Well, yeah, you lose it. But
You
like
lose-
also
yeah.
that's kind of part of like the problem with technology is it's become so automated, like it does everything for us that like
Oh,
I can attest to that. Like if you don't have to log into your email for years because you're automatically logged
right.
on, you're like, wait,
it's
you
almost like
forget
not,
what it even
remember
is.
when you didn't
Yeah.
know your phone number or you didn't know somebody else's phone number? There are only one or two in your phone, right? Like they're like
that's before. our
Oh,
time.
like, no, I know what you're
Oh.
but
saying.
you know what I mean? Like on your,
like speed dial?
Speed dial.
yeah,
Is that
and you'd
right?
have
That's
like,
what I was
you could
thinking.
have like 5 or you
Okay.
type 10 or whatever.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden your phone's gone and you can't call anyone. We
Oh.
still have that problem.
That's-
Like how
Yeah.
can you,
Well, I still have phone numbers memorized of all my closest friends from
But
like,
you have a
That's good,
crazy
yeah.
memory.
I do
dude.
have a
not.
Yeah.
That's not
memory.
normal.
But I think it's because we all have the same numbers that we had as children.
That's true. But I don't know your number off the top of my head.
well, that's like, Kathleen Madigan. She's just a great female comedian. I love her. I think she's been doing it for 30 some years or something. And in one of her stand-ups, she talks about how I think one of her friends ends up in jail and they take his phone and then he can't call anybody. And she's like, I started thinking, oh God, who could I call? Great. I can call whoever's living in the house that I was living in when I was in 6th grade. That's who I can call and say, is there any way you can help me out? She's like, and she's talking about how lazy our brains have gotten in a certain way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
rely on
100%.
technology.
Yeah. Although I think we have way too much coming into us at one time. Like, I don't understand. Or not the right stuff's coming in, I guess. I don't know.
Well, yeah, that would be my issue. If I ever go to jail, I have to call
What
my
would-
mom because she's the only number that I've memorized, or my brother. But actually, he would probably come get me. But yeah, I'd be
Which one?
Screwed.
Because one lives like 6 hours
Yeah,
away.
no. My older brother would come
Okay.
get me. My younger brother
Man, that
would,
made me
would if
think,
he was
like-
close by.
And now, a word from our sponsors, Arlo Carpentry. We've been serving the Denver metro area for the last 6 months. If you need any type of carpentry, please call Arlo Carpentry at 970-213-9389. Arlo Carpentry. We're gonna nail it for ya. I have a little tangent about phone numbers, guys.
Yeah, go for
So
it.
I've had the same phone number I've had since
When you
it's been
first
out-
got your phone, I
was I
think.
first, yeah, well,
Yeah.
So when I was like 11 years old, so 20 some years. So I've had the same number forever, but since about 2012, every couple of months I get this phone call, people leaving a voicemail thinking I'm a lawn service, and they go, "Hi, is this On's lawn service?" And I finally realized, I found the flyer, our number is 1 digit off.
Oh God.
But even today, I got a phone call from somebody, and he's like, "Yeah, is this On's lawn service?" And I'm like, "Oh no, it's not." I finally have caught on. I tell them,
No,
it's
wrong
1
number.
digit off. They're like,
Right.
"This is this number." I'm like, "No, it's actually this number." But one time I got a voicemail and it was angry, and it was this person. They were like, "On, I don't want you to come by today.
Oh, no.
Last time when you came by, your men did this terrible job on my lawn, and if you do come by today, do not do that. Do not trim the head." They just went on and on and on, complaining about the service, and I finally now I have figured it out. So I do call people back, or I don't know why I've taken on this burden.
Yeah, you're
but I'm
on
on
secretary.
secretary.
On
was gonna
should be
say,
doing free services. for
You should call On and be like, "Yo, this
I
this
need a
is
cut of your
mad."
profits, dude.
Hey,
But at
you
that
need to
time,
you need to send him an invoice.
I
Yeah.
should. But at the time,
How
I didn't
sweet of you, because
tell
what if
this
he
person
said,
anything. So they
I will
probably,
take my shotgun out if you show up on my property. I'd be like, oh God, I gotta call the guy.
Yeah,
I mean,
warn him.
I'm just really curious
Oh,
if
that's
On got
funny.
fired after that last time.
Probably.
And,
I
He
would
probably did go
imagine
and cut the
he did.
hedges when he was instructed over voicemail not to do so.
He never got the voicemail.
Yeah, but so
Oh,
see,
that's funny.
it's just technology.
I thought about getting a new phone number too, because I've had the same phone number since I was a kid,
you can't
and
do that.
it's ridiculous how many. I mean, I just get scammers all the time. I'm sure
Yeah.
everyone does, but it's like constant almost. I'm like,
Oh yeah,
maybe I need a new phone.
but hey, that's like the beauty of technology too. Is it's like potential scam.
That's true.
You're like, I'm
that's
probably
true.
not going to answer that.
Yeah.
And my little, I don't know if it's a theory, but like my rule is, if it's important, they'll leave a voicemail,
That's
or like
true.
I'm
Me
expecting you, like
Me
I know
too.
you all
Or they'll
answer.
email me or
And if
a
it's
lot
not
to be
important,
said
then
in the voicemail.
That's
whatever.
true.
It's
That's a good
like,
point.
Like we had a rule with ourselves, with each other and the kiddos. Like, don't call and then not leave a message.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't call and we don't hear from you, that's one thing.
That's sus.
We
But
need
if
to
you
know what's
call
going on.
and then you don't leave a message with voicemail, then that's not great. Let's leave a voicemail.
Unless your mailbox is full.
Oh,
I've done that before, and it's like, oh, I was really expecting
Yeah.
a voicemail.
Every time we
Mm,
call one of our
hey,
good
yep.
friends, that happens.
Hey, this is just a friendly reminder. Check
Delete
the
your
voicemail.
inbox.
Well, yeah, check your inbox.
Clear
and
it out and
clear it-
clear out your lint traps.
Yes,
ladies and
there you
gentlemen.
go. There
And
you
on
go.
that
Here it
note-
is. Friendly reminder. Please clean out those lint traps. It helps prevent home fires and divorces.
Yes, it does.
It does.
Wait, maybe that should be on the sticker. That's funny. Okay. Oh, by the way, guys, hopefully some new merch coming out in the near
Oh
future.
yes, we
so
have merch.
your
keep an
eyes
eye
Taking
out.
that next step. Oh, and you'll be able to see it on our Instagram,
Can hang your stickers with your laundry.
and you can even
On your
put it
laundry
on our
machine.
Instagram wall. Stick them right up
Post
there.
it right on that wall.
Right on
Right
the
on
wall.
there.
No, I mean literally a wall. I don't mean an imaginary wall.
This is not a
We're gonna
virtual
go.
wall.
We're gonna go build a wall, like in the backyard or something. I don't know.
We could.
And then people can just
By the
go
swing
take
set.
Yeah, by the swings. Yeah.
We should all go take a photo by the swing set.
Oh,
Now that I think
shit.
about
let's do
it.
that. We'll
That's
do
a
that
great
after
idea.
this.
Cute.
After
We'll
this
do that.
episode.
Great
Put it
idea.
on our Instagram wall.
Okay.
On our wall.
You
Okay, sorry.
Follow
Last.
All right, so now cleaning out.
You know
the
what?
lint
Instead
trap.
of the wall, we'll call it the line. The Instagram line.
Yeah, like your clothesline.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then we'll just have a rope with imaginary clips, and you can.
Cute. I love it. I love it.
So
Someone write
find
that
it on the
down.
line. You can find it on the line.
Yeah.
You can post it on the line.
You know the beauty of recording is you don't have to write things down because it's
You
being
don't.
recorded.
Isn't
I
that
learned
nice?
that the other day.
That is.
Yeah. Why am I
So
writing
nice.
this down?
Yeah.
Clean
We'll
confession.
never need paper again. We'll just
That's not
record
true.
everything.
Our whole
Because
life.
I found that my brain actually at some point to retain it needs to have that connection between writing it
No,
down.
mine
to
does
go-
too.
That muscle memory.
Mine does too.
In or I'm just.
And typing's not the same thing.
It's not.
It
Very
isn't.
different handwriting.
Isn't it
I
weird?
found that
Yeah.
out the hard way. Yeah.
In cursive, like nobody can read my cursive.
And making,
I
oh,
love
I
it.
can't read your handwriting at all. And like writing lists, I
Yeah.
almost have to write them out because it feels so good.
Doesn't it
crossing
to
off
cross
the
it off? You're
list.
right.
There is
Right.
something so
Physically
rewarding about
crossing
that.
it
Yeah, that one.
Oh.
What do you have on your phone? It's like notes and notes. Or
Oh.
Yeah, and you
to-do
check it
list.
off, and it's like, it's not quite the same.
It's not
yeah,
the
it's like,
same.
this is not
What-
gratifying.
Hey Apple, if you're listening,
Oh,
do
yeah.
some sort of like feature where when we like check it off,
Oh,
you do like
yeah.
a full like line through it or
Oh,
something.
yeah.
Something a
Or
little
like
more
a
satisfying.
sound.
Or give us a choice. Give us a
Yeah.
choice of like a sound or like a bulldozer going through and just like
Yeah.
or just a straight
Just so we
line
feel
or
like we accomplished
Yeah,
something,
give
not
us
this little
more-
like check mark. Like,
yeah, yeah.
I hate
It's
it.
so easy to uncheck and like actually
Yeah,
didn't do.
do
it.
it. Yeah.
Psych. All right, Smart
Yeah.
Jaroni, let's ask some questions.
Okay.
Yeah, with
I'm up
that,
for
let's
questions.
clear out the lint trap while we're at it.
All right.
Okay.
So my first question for you is, what is your pet peeve? And if you don't have one, that's fine.
I
We can move on
do.
to the next question.
I don't. Well, I'm sure I have several. It's when people are.
When you
When-
run out of weed.
Oh, oh! Don't get me started there. That's a good one. That is a good one, and it's amazing. I'm like, thank God. Like, I'm not really hooked. Like, you can't be like totally addicted to it, like
No,
physically
no.
addicted to it, because
Right.
there's times I'm like, did a bud fall behind the dresser or not? Like, how desperate am I? And then I have to smack myself. Like, wait a minute, will you pull yourself together?
And it's legal. It's right down the street.
Yeah, just go get some clean weed.
Yeah.
So, it's when people are just, there's no, like, just come out of the blue, no reason whatsoever, and say something, or just mean. Like, just out of the, like, nothing.
like no context.
Not even
like you're, like,
warranted. Just
Just, and just a couple comments and how if you're not on your game, that can really ruin your day.
Oh yeah,
and I noticed
ruin your week,
your life.
I noticed it a couple of times when I was just recently traveling to LA.
I hear the people in LA aren't the nicest.
I was in Hollywood, and there are parts of Hollywood where my very kind driver told me, no, do not go down that street. Nope. I'm like, okay, I won't ask questions. I won't go down that street.
Yep.
Because I didn't say, give me a tour of what's safe or not safe. So, I'm like, I will take note of that. And I don't want to mention the name of the street, but I'll remember it. And I just noticed on this trip a couple of times, just someone addressed someone, I witnessed it, and then one time I was involved. And there was just nothing warranted for it. There was so many other ways it could have been handled before a rude remark was the first remark.
Yeah.
And to speak about the great Willie Nelson again, his family rule I have heard, I don't know if this is for real. Maybe you can check this out, Otter. But I believe they have 3 family rules. And the first one is do not be an asshole.
Good rule.
And the second one is do not be an asshole.
Reiterate.
And the third one is do not be a goddamn asshole.
And repeat yourself. That's good.
And I kind of liked it because it kind of wraps it up going, there's so many ways both of these situations could have been handled.
Yeah.
Nicely without it just so mean from the beginning. So that's my pet peeve. When someone just walks in and shoots down the mood just by being mean in 2 or 3 words. Like, you got to work at that, I think.
I was going to say, it takes more energy to be rude than it does to just be polite and civil. It really does.
Yeah.
So
and
what's
to
why?
Walk into a room and just change
Especially
that.
to strangers, or even the people you love. But, like, just be nice. It's not that hard.
Yeah, my dad used to say, if you have nothing nice to say, maybe just don't say anything.
Yeah, it's a good rule.
Just don't say anything at all, right?
Okay. Question number 2. What's your favorite and least favorite word? Take your time. Just kidding. Seriously, take your time.
My least favorite word. Oh, can it be a phrase?
Sure.
There's no rules here.
Or they could be our rules. So
let me check the rules.
Can
it's fine.
It's okay. Thank you. Thank you. I'd hate to get into any legal bind. It is a phrase that you might as well just say, I fucking give up. I'll drop the F-bomb for that. And it is what it is.
It is what it is.
You hate that phrase.
I cannot. And it has from the very beginning. And I get how some people, it was brought to my attention, well, some people mean they're just accepting.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's so many other ways to say I accept this. It is what it is just sounds like, don't talk to me anymore. I have fucking given up on you or given up on the situation. I am out of here.
I think the context is important.
Yeah,
there's some things you can
but I don't
change.
like it. So, don't like it. I mean, I've tried it out. Yeah. Don't like it.
Say it differently.
Don't like it. Because I think there's so many other ways to say, oh my gosh, that's horrible. I am so sorry. Like, is there anything I can do? Or maybe you can't even say, is there anything I can do? You can just say, I am so sorry.
Right.
I'll stand here next to you. Right?
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Like it when people come to you when you're going through something and they're like, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's
I was taking it the other way.
Right. Because sometimes I go through something and that's my way of accepting it. Like, it is what it is.
Right.
There's really not much I can do.
But see, when you're saying it to yourself, to me, that's different.
Okay.
Than when somebody's saying it to you, well, it is what it is.
Yeah,
to me,
that's not helpful.
I don't like that.
To me, that's just like, and that's what people say. Like,
that makes more sense.
Well, your dog died. It is what it is.
Yeah, that's not helpful.
That's not. How is that helpful?
That's sad.
So that is a. I do not like that phrase.
Yeah.
All right. Next
fair.
question.
Yeah. Wait, what's your favorite word?
Oh yeah. Do you like anything?
Favorite word? Absolutely. It is moderation. And I believe if you would ask 4 of my children what's Smarg's favorite word, I'm pretty sure all 4 of them would be able to say moderation.
In moderation.
Because I always try to tell them, I think people that really master that art, which I do believe it's an art to master. I don't think we're just born and get moderation. It's something we learn and we have to relearn. I feel those people lead just more of a solid life with themselves.
Yeah, and like
You know,
well-rounded.
Well-rounded, but also very secure within as
Yeah.
well, you know.
At peace.
Yeah, at peace, and you know, even before the ganja, at
Yeah.
peace
Yeah.
with themselves, because
like that.
it's hard for a lot of people to be even alone with themselves.
It is hard. And that
So-
can be anything
So I
from
think moderation
drugs or alcohol or food
exactly.
or social media
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
friends or family.
Like it's okay to like indulge a little bit
Yeah.
here, a little bit there,
Right.
but if that's
Right.
all you do,
well, with my
no moderation.
kids, I couldn't actually say that. There's alcoholism in our family, so I had to have the talk with them that kind of went like, "Hey, you're going to be running across drugs and alcohol, and I'm sorry that this is a gene. This is in your family.
Mm-hmm.
You know, addictive behavior, and you may be able to party with Johnny, and Johnny may be able to out-drink you, out-smoke you, and be fine, and be able to turn it off
Right.
like no problem. That may not be the same for you. I'm sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't push
But
it.
I have to give you a heads up.
Don't test it.
I actually had a conversation like that when I was 14 with my aunt, because my mom's side of the family has a lot of addicting personalities
Okay.
and traits, and with me it really resonated. I mean, I like in high school I still had like a really great time, but when I turned 19 I was like, yeah, like I don't think I want to like go overboard with this, because I know what I'm prone to.
Right.
So,
Right.
That takes a big person, though, to figure that out, especially at 19. That's impressive.
well, I mean, I was also going through like some like mental health stuff, you know, and I was like, this excessive drinking isn't helping anybody. So,
Right,
Yeah.
right. And you do kind of figure that out. And I think, like, I would say to my partner, like, when I get really down and, you know, I'm just in a rut or something has happened and I know it's really affected me, I will sometimes not drink at all because I don't trust myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I
For
know
real.
that. And he goes, that's why you're not an alcoholic.
Right.
Because you
when
know,
to
like
stop.
somewhere inside of you, you can't put a word on it. You can't quite place it, but somewhere inside of you, you have that. I do not.
Yeah.
Right. Can't do it, won't
Can't
do
do-
it. Not a
right,
good
right.
time. But
And
when the
so-
time is right, then maybe I'll have another drink or two. But
Right. So
No need to
sometimes,
push
you know,
it.
and then there's sometimes I'll just drink so much and I'll be like, well, that's a lot of calories and Jesus, what? And so, you know, what?
All right.
And then there's
Yeah.
other times I've had a really good time. So, you know,
yeah. And then we can't get through our podcast.
drink responsibly. Everybody out
We
there,
learned the
family and
hard way.
friends, drink responsibly, party Let's just stop saying drink. Let's just party and
Enjoy life.
enjoy
Live
life
responsibly.
responsibly. Yeah.
Podcast responsibly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be
All right.
responsible. Get your laundry done and your lint traps cleaned.
How does your laundry style reflect your life? Are you a sorter? Do you like the cold rinse? The
I'm a
bleach
sorter.
Colors.
I'm a sorter. I like a good bleach cycle every now and then.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I prefer cold water over warm or hot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What about when you shower though?
Oh, rinse in cold water every time.
Really?
Yeah, it's almost as cold
It's
as I
so
can
good
stand
for
it.
you.
That's what I hear, but
And,
man, I can't
you know,
do it.
I
And
can't do it either.
Mm.
The story goes that, like, that's how I was taught. And I always remember my grandfather saying it's good for your
Immune system is what they say.
immune system and your joints and stuff. Even though it
nervous
doesn't,
system.
but you know, and he'd always say this, right? So I just started doing it, you know,
Mm.
and then I repeated this years later, and I mean years and years later. I must have been late 20s or something.
Yeah.
And my mom looks at my grandpa, and then my mom looks at me, and she goes, "He couldn't stand your long hot showers when you were a teenager."
So you made it up?
So he made it up,
Oh
and
my
then come to
God.
find out
That it's actually
Now there's
good
all
for
this
you
research
now.
on
that
it.
it's good for you, right? But also I trust him because he did suffer from arthritis his
Oh.
entire life. I think he was first felt it when he was in his teenage years.
Well, they say actually
So-
heat is better for that than cold. Like the cold makes like
Well,
arthritic.
I can't imagine
bones.
putting. I think there's a couple differences. Are you talking about like where you live, or are you talking about what you actually
Yeah.
put on your
No,
joint?
I wouldn't say like put something super hot on your joints because
No, I couldn't imagine.
But
It'd be horrible.
like
But
if
I'd
you're
rather
in a
put
really
cold
cold
on my joint.
climate, it's not
Yeah,
good
and
for
that's.
arthritis.
I think that's what they mean when oh that's a different cold or whatever. Or
yeah.
Bone chillingly cold.
but I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
How would you like to be greeted at death, Smarg? I feel like this is one of
Oh.
your my favorite
It is.
questions,
I
but
love
I know
this
you
one.
love
it
this
is one of my
question,
favorite,
too.
and I've actually thought about it before. And of course, I want to see anyone that's passed. You know, my grandparents. So I talk about my grandma and my grandfather, and you know, my dogs, and you know, I hope it's a big party.
Oh yeah, it will be.
And then I picture my dad walking up to me saying, hey, I got to show you this shit. It is cool.
You're going to love this.
You are going to love this. Come on.
Yeah.
And, just all there together.
I love that.
That's awesome.
But I do picture him just like almost like, where have you been?
What
I gotta
took you
show
so
you
long?
this shit.
You're finally here.
This is cool. Come with me. Come on.
Yeah.
This is what we do here.
Oh, I love that.
And I have thought about that. So
I hope it's that way for me too. Just the people I love, like saying welcome.
yeah. And this is actually
Let's
the
go.
year I am the age that he was when he suddenly passed.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
unreal. You're so young.
And I am that age.
Yeah.
So
Wow, that's crazy.
yeah, it's a crazy feeling.
That must be surreal. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, surreal. Good word.
Yeah.
Surreal feeling.
I'm working on my vocabulary.
Good for you.
Wow, that's a big word.
Thank you.
Good.
Surreal.
What does it mean again? Can you define it?
Let's move on.
All right, next question.
Hey, can I have my other beer?
Yeah.
Am I in my limit?
Nope.
We've been limiting our drinking. I wanted you to know. But
Otter had to put a
Yeah.
hard stop to it because
yeah, after our last
episode was a little rough, and thank
Go
goodness
check
for
it out.
Haas's superior
Yes.
editing skills. But
Okay, and then so what's the last?
all right, the last question, Smargeroni.
Mm-hmm.
What was the last song you listened to?
Willie Nelson. The last thing I needed was the first thing this morning.
That's the title of the song.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
And Chris Stapleton does an awesome recording of it as well.
So I understand that you went and saw Willie Nelson at this big concert at the Hollywood Bowl for,
Yeah.
was it his 90th birthday?
Absolutely, I thought you'd never have. Oh my God!
Tell us about it. That sounds amazing.
I mean, if the listeners don't already know, obviously we're big Willie lovers here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I cannot. I was trying to remember earlier today, actually, thinking about this recording tonight. I was trying to remember when I first realized who Willie Nelson was, when I first, knew his music and liked him. And I thought about other famous people like Elvis Presley. I can remember when I first realized I could identify who Elvis was listening to him.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the day he died, things like that. The weird thing about Willie, it feels like he's been in my life my entire life.
It's like ingrained.
However, my parents were not big country music listeners until I think it was, when did Willie Nelson was actually in the movie Electric Cowboy or Electric Horseman. Anyway, there was this big push all of a sudden, like movie-wise in Hollywood or whatever, for this
Cowboy era.
cowboy look, country sound.
1980 for the Urban Cowboy.
Okay, there you go, 79 and 80. So all of a sudden from Hollywood, there was this big push about country music and that. And I think that's when my parents got into it. So I would have been about, if I was born Summer of Love, and this is, 12?
Yeah.
Okay.
So a pretty impressionable age.
It's a good year to get into country.
But the weird thing about it is I don't ever remember not knowing who Willie Nelson was.
Yeah.
He's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, well,
But
Well, and he's like a wise man. You've already told us like several of his like life mottos.
I
Like,
know.
Regret, I don't do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my
that's
other
adorable.
favorite, I forgot to say earlier, I should have said when I was talking about all my husbands, was, he said, divorces are so goddamn expensive because when you need them. Like,
That's
there's
true.
no, like, negotiating, meaning
Yeah.
you're at your breaking point or you wouldn't be getting a divorce.
Right.
So it's
Like-
going to cost you. It's
Well-
just going to cost you.
it can wait. Then that's usually not your time for it.
Wait like 5 years till I'm
And
financially
then my dad,
stable.
Yeah.
slowly, and I guess my mom, not so much, but my dad definitely got into country and stayed into country. And
Oh,
So you guys
cool.
bonded over that.
yeah, I think we
Yeah.
did.
Well, and I understand that you brought your father's hat on this cowboy hat on this trip with you.
I did. It was important to me to bring something of my dad's. Willie Nelson, yes, turning 90. I bought the ticket back in, I believe, January. And it's an outside venue in outside of LA, Hollywood Bowl.
Beautiful venue.
And
Never
what's
been.
great, is outside. You've seen it in a lot of movies. Like when you see it, you'll go, "Oh,
Yeah.
I've seen that."
Yeah.
And it's in a big park. I mean, it's just beautiful. It's really nicely done. So I wanted to be close because, you know, I don't know, feel like I'm running out of time how many times I'm going to see Willie perform. So, you know, I wanted to be close, and I wanted to be able to wish him a happy birthday.
Well,
you
this
know?
was a big year for you.
And also, this was a very big year for me. And the fact that that's one thing we definitely had in common, my dad and I decided I'm going to take his work hat. Mm-hmm. And the first thing that happened with this hat is I'm flying out of DIA, and I sit down in my seat, economy, and I put the hat down on the floor and put it next to my bag under my seat. And the flight attendant comes down and he says, "Oh, that won't do." And at first I thought he was giving me a hard time, like, that won't do. But he had like kind of this smirk on his face. Yeah. And I was just like, okay, well, what won't do? And he goes, "I have a place for that in first class for the hat. Hand me the hat. You don't need to put your hat on the floor."
So not you, just the hat.
Yeah. Just the hat. Just
you stay seated here in economy.
Yeah, and we'll reunite you guys if said hat wants to see you at the end of this flight. I was like, what? And that was at the very beginning of my trip. And the funny thing about that is, I was very fortunate with my dad to take a lot of family trips that he would pay for and pay for the airline tickets. And even when the grandbabies came along, you know, so very fortunate. And every time, if I was on the same flight with him, I would be in the back with my little sister, you know, and my kids, and then him and his wife, my friend, would be up in first class. And he'd always be like, "Well, I'll see if I can send you something back." And just really make a big deal about, like,
see ya.
That he's in first class.
And we are not.
Right.
Yeah. And just be like, and he'd be sometimes behind the stewardess when she would show, "I don't get the first class curtain, but whatever." And go like this. He'd be behind her going, "See ya. See you on the other side."
Have fun. Enjoy your flight.
And just make such a big deal about it that I thought, oh, this is one of those, warm, fluffy cycles. I'm like, I think my dad was kind of with me, you know?
He's making a point. Like, I'm still going to sit in first class, even though I'm a hat now.
Even though I'm a hat now.
100%.
And then I think the whole time I also heard him say, because I couldn't decide what hat I wanted. The girls each have a hat from him, and they're still downstairs. So I was like, well, I'll take one of these. And he had his real nice Stetson, black felt, and he had a couple of them. And then I just take his scrounges, but it was his work one. It had paint on it from when he was painting the fence, and it's just...
Had the most character.
Right. And I'm thinking that, right? And as the guy's taking it up to first class and just looking at it, I just heard my dad go, "Really couldn't have picked a better hat?" Like, are you kidding me?
This is how you represent me.
This is how you're traveling with me? Are you kidding? Like, I was just like... Well, I don't know. Have fun in first class, dude. And I just thought that was
gives
hilarious.
Me chills.
So, it did give me chills. I was just like, well, this is definitely. If I don't need a better sign than that I'm living my life. So I bought this ticket, spent so much money on it that I only had one enough for me to go by myself, which I was okay with. So I got to go 9th row, front and center.
Nice.
And if anybody knows the Hollywood Bowl, there's a little section in the front that's kind of like a half circle called the pool circle, and sometimes they set seats up there, and that's where the 9th row was, right at the back of that.
Yeah, you might be almost famous now at this point, because we already saw you on the YouTubes. And
if you didn't see me, you see the hat. My father's hat made more of a debut, guys, than I did on YouTube. You can see it far more than me.
I don't know. After this, you might not be allowed to be on the podcast.
Yeah, I should be careful.
You got to wish Willie Nelson a happy birthday.
I did, and I do believe he heard. He did say thank you, and
that was pretty cool.
It was very cool. Everybody in our row was just like, we were high-fiving it and lighting up the joints, and we were just happy.
Would you say it's like the best concert you've ever been to?
I think it's even more than that. Like, I don't think I'll ever be a part of something like that again.
Yeah.
Because the guests were incredible.
Oh, the lineup was
unbelievable. It was for 2 nights.
Well, that's
it was
so
what? We got Snoop Dogg. We had Woody Harrelson was there.
Yeah.
Dwight Yoakam, Dave Matthews.
Oh, yeah. Sheryl Crow.
Chelsea Handler was
the
there.
Chicks.
The Chicks.
The Chicks. Jennifer Gardner.
Nora Jones.
gosh.
What
Nora-
is Jennifer? Was she just a host or?
She was a host.
Okay.
And then
Did she sing?
Smokes a lot of weed.
Owen.
Does she?
No.
Well,
Wow.
I made that
Well,
up.
my son-in-law and my daughter were or almost son-in-law, not quite, but to be, were so sweet. Once I bought my ticket, I don't know if everyone chipped in as a family and if they did thank you, but I think there's a little questionable. It's like, should we, like, I don't know if we can trust Smarg, like, to go. And I'm like, I always answered with, I am not going to be there alone, you guys. Guaranteed.
Willie will be
I will
there.
not. Yeah. Yeah. Not to mention like the thousands of other people.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine. But they ended up buying tickets as well for both nights, but more a lot further away.
That's
Maybe
cool.
we'll put some pictures on Instagram.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on the Instagram wall.
And so
I
I
am
wasn't
glad-
there alone, but I was there.
I'm glad they
having a
got to
great time.
experience that with you because I
Yeah.
bet that was a really magical moment for you. And
It was.
it's
And,
cool
you
to
know,
do that with share that with someone.
it was.
Yeah.
It was.
But I
So-
will say, if you've never been to a concert solo, it's a very liberating experience. I remember probably the only concert I've gone to where I was solo. No one would go with me, and I'm like, well, I can't miss this. It was Halsey, and it was like
Oh.
in a very small venue before she got really big. So I'm like, I have to go see this, and tickets like went way down in price. So I went, and it was so fun just being by
Yeah.
myself. I
Was it?
mean,
Yeah.
so I mean, obviously it's
was-
fun to go with people, but
Mine was fun.
Yeah, it's
I'm
an
glad
experience.
that they were there at the beginning and the end of each night because it was like I think it was where I was sitting.
Mm.
I think it was the lineup. I think whatever it was how would you say it? Exhausting happiness. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It was just like I even tormented about like what pictures to take and not take because I wanted to be in the moment. I didn't want to video anything. I didn't want to be worrying about my camera. There are a few pictures I regret not getting, but I have those memories forever too.
Forever.
So, you know,
Well, I
when-
guarantee somebody else got those
And-
pictures. So if you
right.
go out there and look, like, type in something, like, you'll
right,
find what you're-
exactly.
yeah.
And I know I was there,
Yeah.
and and so
and you're on
so
YouTube
I really
now.
just I'm on YouTube now several times. Me and my
And
buddies and it was there were times though it was pretty emotional. The first night was of course just very emotional for me, and they had some singers and I can't quite remember exactly how the lineup went, but Willie didn't come on right away, and I don't know, someone was on, and this gentleman to the left of me kind of came over and he said, I've noticed that this is pretty emotional for you, and I'm so happy you're enjoying yourself. And he said, I just wanted to let you know that they just brought Willie Nelson's guitar on stage,
don't freak out.
and I just wanted to let you kind of like absorb that and kind of prepare for it. Like I
Nice.
think he thought like this is going to be the goddamn Beatles from the 1960s where the women were fainting and everything. He's like, I don't know what's going to happen over here, but I've already seen who's shown up before Willie is excited her like I gotta warn her, and the first thing out of my mouth was, how do you know? And he
Wait,
goes,
really?
and he goes, we'll see. And then they showed me like, well, there was the guitar and he has that distinct red, white, and blue band. Oh, okay. And he goes, see, I just wanted you to enjoy it. But it was so like, I think he was genuinely concerned because I was just like this. I'm just living my best life.
This lady's gonna lose.
So
her
then,
shit.
like I said, so back to being liberated alone. You're not really alone though. Everybody there is hopefully for the same reason you are, and that's to enjoy it. And that's what I did.
Well,
And oh my goodness, got to see Snoop Dogg.
Yep.
Got
Keith
to see,
Richards.
oh,
oh god, yeah.
and I was close enough to where I could see them tuning like some of their instruments before they would come on. And
Yeah.
I briefly saw someone, and I'm like, saw this bandana that's head, and I just thought, Brett Michaels, like what? I don't.
What is he doing here?
And then he turned around, and Keith Richards, has a very distinct look.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Can't miss him.
And I was just like, oh my God. And then I had the beautiful, wonderful, happy younger couple next to me, probably early 20s. And they're like, who is it? And I said, that's Keith Richards from the Rolling Stones. And they said, the Rolling Stones are here? And I'm like, well, Keith Richards is here. I mean,
Yeah.
The big
and
one.
so-
Just
yeah,
as good.
yeah,
Just the one stone.
so that was pretty amazing. That was
Yeah.
like, wow. Because I don't know if they even announced that, or I don't know, but I didn't know he was going to be there.
Yeah. It sounded like most of the lineup wasn't even really released, or if it was
Yeah.
only a few days
They just
before.
kind of like announced it like last minute.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. And I mean, everyone was great. I mean, and it did feel like, it felt like you were part of something. It really did. It really felt like you were a part of something. Chris Christopherson, he, was getting up there, and I think that might be one of his last time on stage. So that was great. And to see him there with Roseanne Cash, that was pretty cool. To see Lucas Nelson and Shooter Jennings, which is the son of Waylon Jennings, who has passed.
Oh,
To see those
I didn't
two.
know Waylon was not with us anymore.
Yeah, Waylon. And,
I didn't either.
Yeah.
But I gotta say,
so to see them sing their dad's songs together,
That's precious.
Yeah.
that was pretty cool. And then just the classic songs and the songs that he wrote.
Yeah.
Not necessarily sung that very much. And Chris Stapleton, he's just
Something else.
unbelievable.
Well,
I mean, I could go on forever. It was an experience of a lifetime.
Oh yeah,
And
I guarantee it.
it was wonderful.
You're probably one of my favorite people to go to concerts with, and honestly, that concert in particular would have been insane.
Yeah, it was.
But I know you had a blast, and I know you made a ton of friends because that's what you do every time, and everyone just wants to be around you. You're just a bubble of energy. So I bet you had a blast.
I had a good time. As a matter of fact, you say that, I think I saw it I heard on one of the YouTubes I was watching. The second night they sent out a notice earlier that day that they wanted to open the gates a half hour early and start the show a little bit earlier. So, we're gonna go, and we're gonna go early.
You're
but
going early.
But I like to be very vocal in the crowd, and I like to roll my tongue and yippee yay hey, yeah, whatever. I love it. But because we started a whole half hour early, it's like, what if we end up ending late? Like, I have to be careful. I'm barely gonna have a voice, right?
Oh God, yeah.
So it's kind of quiet when first few performers, and also I want to be somewhat aware of the people around me too. They paid for tickets just like I did, and I don't want to be breaking eardrums. I did think about bringing earplugs just in case for people, but I didn't.
People around you.
But
I'm
anyway,
loud.
Sorry about this.
I can't remember who came out, but it was maybe the third act, and I had to cheer, and a guy 2 rows up goes, "And there it is. She's back." He's like, "Hey." And I'm like, well, obviously they don't hate me.
No.
So that's good.
How could they? No, you were just amping everybody up.
So yeah, it was fun. It was a lifetime experience. It really was. It was worth all of it.
It's just crazy. What are the odds that Willie Nelson's 90th birthday party is the year that you turned 56, the year that your father passed away?
Exactly. And
how
I was sharing with you guys, I don't think I would have spent the money for it if it hadn't have been that year. It was supposed to happen.
Huge. Oh yeah.
And just that it was I've probably ruined myself. I'm like, oh, what's
next?
How's that concert? What am I going? What? No, but
It's like a drug.
it was, and it is, and it still is. It's
And there is
great,
a
though.
thing after concert depression. I don't know if that's the proper term, but people literally have a come down after.
Yeah,
the concert.
and I
They
mean,
just
I
feel so
really
sad.
I
Concert
planned this
withdrawals.
out. I really
Yeah.
waited for this. I say, so. But then I thought, I have this podcast to look forward to with you guys.
Yeah, tell us all about it and relive it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Speaking of trips, I have a clean confession.
Oh.
I have never been out of the North American continent.
Really?
I've been out of the country. I've been to Mexico, but I've never left North America.
Really?
Oh wow. No
Yeah.
way. That's surprising.
Yeah.
I thought for sure you would have.
But I mean, Haas, I hear that you have an adventure coming up, and you'll
I
be
have a
venturing down to South America.
And I do have a quick little side note again to this little confession of Otter's. Otter's been around for quite a while in my life, and I believe that I got to take her on her first plane ride.
The first plane ride that I remember, I
That
went
you
on
remember?
one when I was
Hey.
4 years old.
Oh,
I don't remember
okay.
it, but yeah, I had not flown again till I was 19, and that was with Smarg to Cabo.
Oh
and
my
It was
God, how
adorable.
cool.
I
Yeah.
know.
And she called and asked if they had bathrooms on airplanes.
I didn't know.
Adorable.
I was not well versed in the air travel.
I mean, it's a good question to ask. You know, you never know. It's a long flight. You want to make sure you're prepared for that.
Yeah, you can't
Packing diapers or something.
Exactly.
So sorry, but back to your confession.
But yeah, back to my confession. So Haas, I hear that you are venturing down to South America in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I am. I'm, you know, I work remote, so I figured why not go do a little traveling, work somewhere cool while I can. So I just figured I'd book a one-way ticket. Gonna start actually in Costa Rica, I think, and find some cute little beach towns to hang out in for a while, and then yeah, maybe go to Panama after that, Nicaragua. We'll see. We have to make it back for the wedding in August.
Yes.
So.
But I mean, 2 months, that's going to be
Yeah. Oh, it's going to
amazing.
be a blast.
Yeah.
I can't wait. It's nice to, I've been kind of mentally preparing for this trip for years now. So I've put everything in my storage unit.
List.
Oh, yeah.
You made it a priority.
Something I've been trying to work out for a long time.
Well,
so I'm glad it's all
to
coming
you
to fruition.
for making it happen.
Yeah. Yeah. It took a while, and it took a lot of work, but I am so excited.
Do you plan on doing your laundry for 2 months?
I know.
I mean,
I don't know. Most of because I'm staying in Airbnbs mostly. I've decided I'm going to show up to San Jose and just hang out in a hostel for a few days and meet some folks. And then the next Airbnb I found was in Santa Teresa. I think it's just on the southwest part of Costa Rica.
Oh, nice.
So I'm going to get a little rental car and go check out the volcanoes and the, cloud forest and whatnot.
Volcanoes? I didn't know there were volcanoes down there.
Well, I think there's just one.
Oh,
maybe
volcano.
maybe there's one. I need to do more research, obviously.
Maybe she'll find another one.
Kind of winging it.
But no,
but most of the laundry, it's kind of nice. All the places are in my unit. But I kind of want to go check out some local laundromats and meet some cool people.
Would love it.
So
Yeah,
I might have to do some interviews.
No matter what, do send pics. And,
oh yeah,
post them on the Instagram.
We will. Yeah, I mean,
send nudes.
Obviously. Yeah, I mean,
but really, I'm sure you're gonna run into some quirky washers and dryers.
Yeah,
I
probably
can't wait to hear.
Not in English either, so we'll see how.
Well, if you need some translating services, just feel free to,
I'll let you know.
Real quick.
Yeah, I'll call you up. What does this mean, Simone?
Porque hablo un poco español.
Yes, Otter is our bilingual podcaster.
Yeah, maybe you need to come with me and translate for me.
Hey,
so
I'm down.
You said you work remotely. What is it that you do?
I am a marketing consultant, actually, for mostly healthcare, digital healthcare companies. Which I really enjoyed. I've been in healthcare actually now for quite a few years. It's definitely where the money's at, and it's a little bit more interesting. But yeah, it's kind of been a whirlwind. My company is really small, but I'm really glad where I am, and I'm glad that my company's been willing to let me work remote, and everyone kind of works around the world. So it'll be a nice change of pace. Yeah.
So this is your job. That's what you do. So. Where did you graduate from?
Yeah, I went to CSU actually. I'm a Colorado native, so I really couldn't go too far. It's hard to venture off too far.
Not only that, out-of-state tuition is terrible.
I mean, Colorado State wasn't really that much better.
Oh,
no,
darn
it was pricey.
Oh.
But it was CU or CSU, and it was a difference of $2,000.
It wasn't
at
much.
that point. It's
yeah.
Okay,
And since I grew up in Boulder, I was always gung-ho about going to CU. And my mom was like, well, let's just go look at schools at Fort Collins. And I said, oh, fine. This is going to suck.
As a high school girl would do to her mother.
I had already bought all my CU, gear, all my pants, my sweatpants, and my backpack and whatever. And I went on this tour in Fort Collins, and I absolutely fell in love with the campus. It was amazing.
Oh, nice.
And I just knew that was where I needed to go. So
that's pretty cool. So what do you say? Thank you, Mom. And shout out to Mom. Yeah, there you go.
Sometimes moms are right.
There you go.
Or maybe they're always right. Thanks, Mama.
Well, nice. So you graduated from
CSU.
Yeah, CSU is my marketing degree. So actually still using my degree, which I feel like is somewhat rare.
Very rare.
But
Fun fact.
Yes.
Haas is a twin.
Oh, she is.
am a twin.
That's right.
If you're listening, Twin Bear, shout out to you. I'm telepathically telling you to listen to this podcast episode. Okay, he got it.
And then you can always let us know when you got it, like just a quick email, like bing.
Yep. He's like, check. But yeah, he's great. That was the hardest part, was being away from each other for college, because we were obviously inseparable for most of our lives. And then he went down to Gunnison. Yeah, we were almost 4 hours away, maybe more, and it was tough.
Fort Lewis or
Gunnison.
That's Western State.
Western State. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a gem. He's great. He's definitely my best friend in the whole world. We definitely have that twin thing where I know when something's wrong. He knows when something's wrong with me.
Wow.
It's nice to have a buddy.
That's
and we
pretty
had our
cool.
own secret language when we were kids. And
Oh,
stuff.
you did?
Oh, yeah.
And you
did
know
you
what?
plan it that way, or did it just kind of happen?
It just happened.
It
Before
happened in utero.
Yeah,
really
that's what I was
did.
going to say.
They were born speaking it.
Before we could even talk, we would just mumble to each other. My mom would say we'd just be babbling back and
wow.
forth.
So
And obviously no one knew what we were saying. But then even when we became, into middle school and elementary school, we would still have this weird language. I think we even ended up writing it all down at one point, like a legit language.
Oh, that is cool.
But yeah, it was weird. We have
You know what I was
definitely a
going to
twin
say, Otter, is that, so Otter and I went to elementary school together. We
bond.
mentioned
My name's
this.
Haas.
Your name is Haas.
And here it is. By the way, Otter put us on a 2-drink minimum because we have been drinking too much.
And Otter doesn't even drink. And
Otter
can't get it
doesn't
right.
even drink, and Otter's made a mistake. So we're just
okay.
overly proud.
Yeah, we're great at
But
what
we
we do.
love you, Otter.
Haas and I.
There you go.
My name is Otter. Haas and I went to elementary school together and middle school. But in our tiny little class of like 30 people, we had 3 sets of twins,
We did. It was
which is so rare. Isn't that
bizarre.
weird?
That is crazy.
Yeah.
And I ended up dating one for a while, and then our best friend ended up dating one for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, you mix it all up, huh?
Yeah.
Ah,
Shout out to the Jacksons. Love
Jackson
you guys.
boys. Had the hots for one for a long time.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
adorable. This was middle
I missed
school.
that.
No, this was elementary.
Elementary.
school.
Adorable.
I finally moved on from the Jackson boy.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a real
that's great.
tight-knit
So,
school.
any other siblings?
Yeah.
Obviously, there is, because this is how we are connected.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my older brother actually ended up dating Smarg's youngest daughter,
Yes.
and now they have a beautiful son together. So that's how
They
we
do.
became officially family.
We did.
We've-
Little Monk. They had Little Monk.
Little Monk, we love you. And he has 0 hair, and I don't know if he ever will. Just like my twin brother. My twin brother didn't have hair until he was maybe 3.
And you know what? Now
And he has
a
ton
of hair.
of curly hair as
ton
well.
of curly, like
Yeah.
a fro, huge.
Oh,
Do you think
maybe.
Monk is going to get
Yeah.
curly
Yeah,
I
hair?
do.
I
That
kinda
could
do.
be.
Because older
be
brother does
adorable.
not have curly hair.
No.
It's wavy.
Yeah.
But definitely not curly.
But when you look at pictures of older brother
mm-hmm.
and Monk at
Oh,
the
yeah.
same age, they look identical.
identical. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
So-
Yeah, they're so cute.
I have a cute story to share about that.
Yeah.
Monk's other grandmother, which is Haas's older sibling.
Mm-hmm.
And she shared with me that he was not particularly crazy over having a brother and a sister,
Mm-hmm.
to where the preschool teachers were very concerned at one point when Mama came in to pick up the older sibling, and this is everything okay at home? Or she goes, they're completely fine. Everything's fine. Okay. And she said, well, we did ask him about the twins, and he said, nope, we don't have any twins at home.
I remember this.
He was in
Like, nope.
complete denial.
Nope, we don't have any twins. No babies, no twins.
When I'm at preschool, that world does not exist.
Exactly, we do not have it. So very cute, but
That's adorable.
probably overwhelming, actually,
Yeah.
to bring in 2 babies, and you're only, what's the age difference?
3.5.
3.5, 4.
Yeah.
So it's probably pretty overwhelming when you are rocking the world and you are
Yeah.
the center.
Yeah.
He was
and then
not
these
having
two
it.
little screaming machines
And then
pop out. And you're like,
babies.
what?
What?
He kept asking my parents, he would say, why did you have to bring home 2? Everyone always brings home 1. Why are there 2? And he gets so mad. He did not like us for majority of our lives, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
And
I remember him in high school, and he
he
hated us.
was not a fan. I mean,
can't
we were
blame him.
pretty annoying.
We were
I get it.
little
I was
pests.
definitely the annoying little sister, but now he's literally my best friend in the whole world. So it's nice to see how things transition
and
over
he's,
time, but it took a while.
He's a great father to little Monk that I think you guys are lying. Like, I cannot believe the stories you tell me from him in high school.
I think Monk was like what he needed. I think he was like in a transitional point in life, and Monk showed up, and it was like, yes, like this is the path.
So how did the arrival of Monk, how did that affect you in your life, Haas? Because here you are now, auntie for the first time.
Honestly, I think it's just made me more grateful about life. You know, like I think these things happen when you need them the most. You know, I was going through a tough time. You know, a year ago, my older brother was going through a tough time, and sometimes these little miracles come into our life, you know, at the perfect time. And now I just have so much love for this tiny, tiny little human, and honestly, I just want to live life to the fullest, and I want to show him everything. I want to teach him everything. It's definitely changed my whole perspective on kids in general and my life in general.
I think when a baby comes into our lives, I think we really need to take note. I think there's something that we need to hold on to and carry with us throughout our lives, whether we're expecting a baby in our lives or not. There's something that kind of brings it all to, like, just home. There's something that brings it all together, and I always think we should pay attention to that.
Yeah, family's just so important. I think sometimes I forget that. Sometimes I need that.
Yeah, and I think they're great little reminders.
Yeah.
Which reminds me of another adventure that's going on. This is Otter's adventure.
Yeah, Otter.
We would love it if you wanted to share your new adventure with us.
Well, by the end of 2023, my grand adventure will be welcoming a little otter into the world.
Yes, congratulations. If we had dryer buzzers, we'd be setting them off right now.
I was going to say, where's the poppers?
No.
Confetti.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So baby otter due December 2023.
Oh, we can't wait.
Which I just have to share this. I was always like, I'm never having a Christmas baby. I'm never having a Christmas baby. And then as the universe told me, oh, yes, you will.
Yeah, my dad always...
happening.
That's one thing my dad and I shared a lot about, talking about babies and stuff. And man, like, you can have it planned, but make sure you're okay to let go of that plan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because they don't always let you know.
Life doesn't happen usually the way you map it out.
And especially when little babies come, but they are little, I think we need to pay attention. So congratulations to you and your partner.
You're going to be an amazing
We cannot
mom.
wait.
I can't wait.
So sweet.
So we are ending this season with all happy adventures on a happy note. All of our laundry's caught up, and we are ready to celebrate summer. We have a bachelorette party, then we have a wedding, and then we have a podcast convention.
Oh, yeah.
And then we'll launch season 2 in September.
Yeah, let us know if you're going to the podcast convention in Denver in August 22nd to the 24th.
Yeah. And we can link up.
We can link up there at the Gaylord in Denver outside of DIA.
Yeah.
Looking so forward to it.
Can't wait. It's been a great season.
It's been a great season. Thank you, listeners, and thank you for those that experimented with us in our interviewing.
Yes.
And
we've had amazing guests.
We have had amazing guests. Not the real guests.
Not the real guests.
Yeah. And again, shout out to famous people. We love you, adore you. However, just isn't the place for you to come speak. But you can always write in, email in, whatever.
Unless you're the great Willie Nelson.
Absolutely. I mean, Willie Nelson, always welcome. Yep. Absolutely. So anyway, this is signing out for season 1. So, hey, through the summer months, please be safe, stay even, and when in doubt, go half.
Amen.
And please keep those lint traps clean. It helps on preventing house fires and divorces. It really does.
It's important, guys.
It's important.
It's important.
So have a great summer, and we look forward to podcasting into the fall.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hey, before we wrap up this spin cycle, Haas and I would like to give a quick shout out to those listeners who may be famous. We really do adore you, and even though you do not qualify as an NTRG, not the real guest, we would always love to hear from you. This is Smarg and Haas, keeping it sorted, keeping it real, from the family laundry room. Be safe, stay even, and remember, when in doubt, go half.
Thank you for listening to Dirty Laundry Clean Confessions. Follow us on Instagram at Dirty Laundry Clean Confessions. And if you would like to be the next Not the Real Guest, please email us at dirtylaundrycleanconfessions@gmail.com. We would love to air out the dirty laundry with you